all museums should be free for children. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to talk about right access to information and infringement on children's right to education, whilst my second speaker will tell you how we children benefit from museums. As the first speaker, I will start off by defining the key terms of the motion. Museum, a building where they store historical, scientific, and cultural artifacts. Children, boys and girls below the age of 18. Free, something not paid for. Right to access to information. Ladies and gentlemen, children need to know about their culture. But because of the charges made on the museums, children cannot afford to get into those museums. And children need to learn about their culture from those museums. If they do not learn about their culture, which means, ladies and gentlemen, that they will grow up not knowing their roots, where they belong to, and where they come from. Madam Chair, children from Makokoma, for example, children from Makokoma have information on their doorstep, but because of the dollar charges in museums, they cannot afford to access into the information. Madam Chair, children learn a lot of information stored in museums. In museums, there is a lot of information that can help children improve their education. Infringement to children's right to education. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, in life there are two classes. There's the rich and the poor. If museums charge fees, this certainly proves to us that museums are only to be accessed by the rich people. What about the poor people and their children? Which means that children will not only learn the information in museums. Madam Chair, with these words, I rest my case.
Good morning to you all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am here with my colleagues Katie and Amanda, and I am Tandra Amoy, a debater from Ziligazi district. We are here debating on the motion that reads, this House believes all museums should be free for children, and we are opposing the topic. Madam Chair, I would first of all like to disagree with the previous speaker who said in museums we learn culture. No! Culture begins at home. For example, a child who begins culture at home knows his or her culture from those homes. Madam Chair, she's also said that from museums we get information. No, that's not true. We can also get information from our schools, our teachers, as well as they are trained. Going back to my point, my first point is that museums is a business, so it should not be free because they cost money to operate and run, just like other businesses and homes. This means that interest fees are used to maintain buildings by architects and also pay other bills such as electricity bills and water bills. Madam Chair, going to my second point, what is money? And what is it used for? If money is used to pay for music, concerts, football matches, therefore entry to the museum should be for charge. Why? Because it costs a lot of money, like these football matches. Madam Chair, coming to my last point. Fees from the museum's entry. Fees from the museum's entry are a treasure to a precious, and it's too loose. When people pay, they are contributing a lot to these museums. For example, businesses can contribute a lot to the
and minerals are displayed and information about them rejected. And information about them is readily available. Madam Che, a country without a culture is like a child with no identity. Ladies and gentlemen, museums hold children in cultural transmission. Models of kings and cultural artifacts are available in museums.
POI.
From museums, again, we get entertainment. All work and slow play makes Jack a dull boy. Madam Che, children and parents need leisure time. Museums are a good place for family outings. How many families can afford in this economic situation? Can afford this luxury if it is $1 a child and $3 a parent? Remember, children should be accompanied by an adult. Why should we pay wise children in rural areas, see them in the bushes for free? And why should you pay for models? Madam Che, I believe a person cannot visit the museum once. Madam Che, I therefore strongly support the motion which reads, this house believes all museums should be free for children. I rest my case.
The motion is said, this house believes that all museums should be free for children. I disagree with the previous speaker who said money they get from the sponsor is used to maintain the museums. No, ladies and gentlemen, sponsors these days are hard to find. So the government needs to pay for the museums. I believe that museums face difficulties in maintaining the museums, as my speaker said. The workers need to be paid for their countless hours of working. Ladies and gentlemen, working from every day, every hour and every minute without being paid, this is not work, ladies and gentlemen. Second, overpopulation in the museum may cause damage to the expensive property. When the expensive property is destroyed, it costs a fortune to repair them. Children will get inside the museum pushing each other, and if one falls on the expensive property, they can be destroyed, ladies and gentlemen. Children may also steal those valuable items. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, coming from Japan with an expensive item and it is being stolen by just a child, ladies and gentlemen. Teachers have been...
Out of order. Out of order.
Teachers have been trained to teach children and they understand them more than the tour guides in museums. Because teachers teach children more than the tour guides use big words they can't understand. For example, me. In school, I take position 1 just because I listen to my teacher. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I strongly support the motion that reads, this house believes all museums should be free for children. But first of all, I beg to differ from what the first speaker from the non-affirmative side said. The first speaker from the non-affirmative side said the museums cannot rely on sponsorships, but there are shops and museums. Income from those shops can help maintain the museums, and endowments from other companies can also help maintain the museum. And I also beg to differ from what the second speaker from the non-affirmative side said. The second speaker said, children can steal the expensive artifacts, but I beg to differ. There is top-notch security, hired security guards, professional security guards, and to pay the staff their endowments, income from museum shops and other commercial ventures, private donations and sponsorships rejected. Now to affirm our case. The first speaker said, right to access information. Children have the right to know what is in the museums, and what the tour guides that are at the museums explain better than what the teachers would have explained. POI. Rejected. In museums, they offer edutainment. When a child goes to the museum, the child is educated at the same time when the child is having fun, and that helps the child to understand even better. There is the transmission of culture. When a child says King Lobengula, King Zilikazi, that helps them know the history of Bulawayo, the culture, what they used to wear, what the soldiers used to wear. And there is the division of social groups. If we make museums charge fees for children to enter, only the rich children will be able to enter the museum and see what is in the museums. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Chair, with these points, I believe my team deserves to win this debate. With these points, I rest my case. Thank you.
It's a good morning to you all, boys and girls and the house at large. My name is Amanda Go, coming from Zilikazi district. I hereby oppose the topic which reads, this house believes all museums should be free for children. First of all, I would like to beg to differ what the first speaker from the other side said when she said museums can improve children's education. I disagree with that because I disagree with that because teachers were trained to explain better than those talkers we find in the museums. I also want to beg to differ with what the second speaker from the same side said when she said museum and educational centers. I disagree with that because in museums we find talkers who cannot explain further as our teachers who were trained to do these skills. I also want to beg to differ with what the third speaker from the same side said when she said the talkers explain better than the teachers. I disagree with that because teachers were trained to do these skills. Getting back to my point. Like what my first and second speaker has already said, museums need maintenance. Our government has not enough money to fund the museums. Museum cost is affordable and knowledge comes at a cost. Remember, you value what you pay for, ladies and gentlemen. I rest my case. Thank you.
May the speakers move across the table and shake hands. I'll start by talking to side proposition. So side proposition, first I'd like to commend your first speaker for understanding that it's essential to have a case split and define and having definitions in debate. So you mainly talked about the right to access information, cross-side proposition. You mainly talked about the right to access information, the need to learn about culture, the whole, does it mean that it's now access to rich people only, what about the poor people? And you also talked about the children, and you also gave an example about the children from Akokova having easier access than other children, and then the infringement of right to education and how there's a lot of information in the museum. And it was also good, your presentation, you didn't read much from your cue card, which is good because reading too much from your cue card distracts you from presenting your case and you end up stumbling and you end up not saying what you want to say. So for all debaters, it's good to not read too much from your cue card. A clue is everyone has a word that makes them remember something quickly. You know, if you hear World Cup, you remember soccer, you remember everything. So when you're in a debate, write a word that will remind you of your whole point. Don't write the whole point because you get carried away trying to understand what you're writing instead of presenting your debate. So also go on to the second speaker who also managed to rebut this point of the money to pay workers, on the point of money from donors and all of that, which is good. It's good in a debate to start with your battles first and then move on to your case, because a debate is like building a house, right? Your first speaker builds your house, the first speaker from the opposition side destroys your house. So it's firstly, you have to rebuild your house before you can live in it.